Hey there, homeowners. Today, I want to shed some light on a topic that might puzzle some of you. That's real estate wholesalers and why they might offer what seems like an impossibly low price for your home. First things first, let's go ahead and demystify what a real estate wholesaler actually is. A real estate wholesaler is a person who specializes in searching out and finding properties that are often distressed or in need of repairs, and then fixing them up and selling them to investors. We also call them flippers. Now, here's the important part. Real estate wholesalers aim to make a profit by buying properties at a lower price and selling them to investors at a higher price. Mind you, investors normally purchase at a lower than market price themselves. This is the whole business model, and it involves quick transactions with the intention of making money on difficult situations, which become opportunities. All right, now let's get to the heart of the matter. You might wonder why some sellers receive offers from real estate wholesalers that seem unreasonably low. Well, there are a few different reasons. Real estate wholesalers typically look for properties they can acquire quickly, like foreclosures, and sell just as fast. They may target opportunity properties that require significant repairs or by sellers that are facing serious financial distress. This can all result in much lower offers. Wholesalers consider the cost of repairs and renovations when making those offers, and they often assume worst case scenario when estimating these costs, which can lead to those much lower than expected or hoped for offers. It's to account for all those potential expenses. For some sellers, working with a wholesaler can be a convenient way to sell a property without all the hassle of making repairs, staging, dealing with the traditional selling process. They're willing to trade a lower price, often tens of thousands of dollars less, for a faster and easier sale. They obviously have other stuff going on, and they need to focus on that. Now, it's essential to recognize that selling your home to a real estate wholesaler might not be the right choice. It might not be for everyone. If you're looking for top dollar for your property and are willing to invest the time and effort with me to make those repairs and do the marketing, that traditional sale will be a better fit. But let's stop right here. So far, we've talked about legitimate real estate wholesalers. But what about the scams going on with wholesaling? If you go to social media platforms, and there are a dozen out there, if not thousands, there are countless videos of people bragging about how they have no money, but they are making offers on homes that they have no intention or ability to buy. Why would they do this, you ask? Well, their intention is to tie the house up in their contract, often with no earnest money at all deposited into escrow on it. They then try to sell the house to someone else without telling the actual homeowner what they're doing. So the homeowner is approached by one of these con artists. They're promised a quick closing with no inspections or showings, and they're even so kind enough to pay for all of the closing costs. Wow, how nice. They offer the homeowner tens of thousands or sometimes even $100,000s of dollars under market value. Once the homeowner agrees to the contract, the scammer will then immediately start marketing the house to other buyers, even though they don't own it. They never bought it. If the investor asks for an inspection, the wholesaler will set it all up and then threaten dire consequences to the buyers if they dare speak to the homeowner and tell them what's actually going on. How do I know this? I have actually accompanied buyers on these types of showings before. And there is often an entire group of wholesalers or a whole team there strictly to make sure that we never spoke to the home seller. They didn't want the gig to be up. I also have been told I was not allowed to wear my shirt with my company logo on it. They lied to the home seller horribly, and I was threatened if I said anything, I would get sued or worse. So what happens next? Well, if the wholesalers are successful in selling the home to a buyer, they take their 30-plus day contract over to the title company or attorney's office, along with the new contract with their buyers, and do a same-day closing. For example, there's a home with a market value of, we'll go say $200,000. The wholesaler will promise the world and out lie to someone in order to get a 30-day contract on this house for like $100,000. Most often, they prey on the elderly or those that are going through a traumatic life event already, maybe like a death in the family or cancer in the family or something like that. Then once they have that house contract tying everything up so that the only ones that can buy it are them, then they market it like crazy to an investor for $150,000. Why would an investor buy it? Well, it's $50,000 under market. Of course they're going to buy it. The wholesaler will then go to the closing table and pocket the $50,000 minus a few thousand in closing costs. Sometimes the home sellers are none the wiser. They essentially got scammed out of tens of thousands of dollars and don't even realize it. More and more realtors are warning all of their sellers because these vultures will try to submit an offer that's assignable, which means often these days they are only going to pretend to buy the home and then try to find a buyer that they can sell their interest in the contract to. But more frequently, what happens if the wholesaler is not able to find a buyer for the house during that 30-day contract? Well, they'll try to tie it up for longer by getting a lengthy extension. And if that fails, they will walk away without a second glance. The homeowner has now gone through who knows what and has been tied up in a contract for who knows how long. And then the scammer gets to walk away and doesn't lose a penny because the contract stipulated that they didn't have to deposit any money into a secure escrow account. And if they did, the contract states they can walk away at any point and have it all returned to them. What kind of nonsense is that? While you may be asking if this is even legal, yes, sort of it is. There's also no licensing requirement because technically they're selling their own home, technically, even if they only owned it for 5 minutes. More and more states are cracking down on this type of transaction because the root of it is fraudulent behavior. It's based on lies. In order to buy a home, you should be willing, ready, and able to buy that home. More often than not, none of this is the case. Why am I even going over this with you? Am I trying to say that you have a distressed property or there's some kind of family situation? No, not at all. But I hold a real estate license. Actually, I hold several. And I am duty bound to present all offers. Over the last few years, the moment that I list a beautiful home like yours, I'm bombarded with lowball offers from these type of vultures. These offers are so low, they're insulting. And I have to present them to you. So to help with this, I'm creating this video to help you better understand the situation. I want you informed so that when this nonsense shows up, you know exactly what's really going on and won't even pay attention to it. I don't want you to be insulted or offended because these people are playing a numbers game. For every 100 houses or 1,000 houses that the homeowners tell them not just no, there's at least one that accepts the contract for whatever personal reasons. In a nutshell, homeowners, legitimate real estate wholesalers play a very unique and important role in the real estate market, and their offers can be significantly lower than what you might expect. If you're in a certain situation, it might be a good idea, but we'll talk about it. The scammers and con artists that are playing with the gray area of the law, however, are just out to steal your equity and then brag about their intelligence online. Don't believe me? Check out these videos.
Real estate explained under 1 minute. Step 1 is find a distressed property with a motivated seller. Step 2, contact the owner, negotiate a deal with them, and put that property under contract at a discount. Step 3, once you have that property under contract, you're going to find a cash buyer that's willing to pay you more for what you got the property under contract for. Step 4, once you find the buyer that's willing to pay you more for the property, you're just going to sign the contract over to them so they can now step in your shoes and become the buyer of the property. Then you take both contracts, send it to a local title company, they do all the work and they'll get you paid. Here's an example. Let's say you got the property in a contract for $100,000. Then you market it out and find a buyer that's willing to pay you $120 for it. And at the time of closing, the buyer's going to pay in $120. $100,000 is going to go to the seller. The difference of $20,000 is going to go to you. It's called an assignment fee. Info's there. The choice is yours. Good luck and let's go get this money.
So he actually double closed. So I had assigned it to him. He double closed it to his cash buyer. So there was actually 50,000 of profit in that. And I mean, I'm not mad. I'm very happy I got the deal. But and he let me know. He did tell me, hey, I'm making money on this. I'm gonna double close it. So I knew they were kind of like, I didn't want to bring too many people through and scare them out of the deal. So I just went with that one.
I mean, I see no problem in that, right?
A nice, beautiful deal that you put together, and you're making 20,000, 30,000, 80,000. You don't want your buyer to know. They get in their feelings some type of way sometimes. That's none of their business. Because you said you liked my price at 100,000, right? If it's over $10,000.
This is the contract that I used to buy this house behind me, but I never actually had to buy it because I used this contract to sell it to somebody else without using my cash, my credit, or a license, and I got this $25,000 check.
Remember, I'm here to help you navigate the real estate landscape, whatever it may be today, and find the best option for your personal situation. Thanks to the fact that we have an entire property management division, we know plenty of investors that will put a legitimate contract on your property if you have a distressed sale on your hands. There is absolutely no reason to put yourself in the clutches of these conscienceless sharks that are unlicensed, which means they are not held to any legal standards or governed in any way. They have found a legal loophole reserved for buyers, and they're not even buyers. They aren't out for your best interest no matter what they say. They are out to steal your equity and put it in their own pocket and brag about it online. If you have any questions or need guidance, whether you are hiring me as your listing agent or not, feel free to reach out. Your satisfaction and comfort are my top priorities. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate your time. Bye.